Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can see by the title, um, I'm going to be guessing you up. All right, so I just shuffled the cards. I haven't looked at them yet, but I do want to give you your anchoring cards, your choices to pick from. All right, so pile numero uno is Be Without Malice. So it's pile number one, Be Without Malice. Okay. Then we have pile number two, Be Honest. Be honest. Okay. Then we have pile number three, Embrace Spirit. Hope you guys can see that. Embrace Spirit. Okay. You can go ahead and pause to pick your pile. Trust me, I am going to get better at this, holding these cards up. Okay. So pile number one, Be Without Malice. Pile number two, Be Honest. And pile number three is Embrace Spirit. Okay? All right. So I will see you folks at your piles. All right. Welcome, pile number one. So your anchoring card is Be Without Malice. Now, if you're somebody who feels like maybe you're a bit too harsh, or that people don't receive you well, or if people give you like a very stinging kind of energy and you try to process it and you put some blame on yourself of like, okay, well, maybe I deserve that energy from people if I keep getting it. I'm getting here to gas you up. It's the fact that you're somebody who isn't petty. What I wanted to say was outwardly petty. So you might have a little petty in you, right? But you might be somebody who picks and chooses your battles. So it's not that you necessarily kill people with kindness, which you could do. You could be killing people with kindness, but I'm not getting that here. What I'm really getting is that when people either, you know, separate themselves from you, or you separate yourself from them, or let's say it's coworkers, they go home or whatever, they actually start feeling bad because it's like, to them, you actually didn't even really give them a reason. Like, let's say they were triggered by something that you did, or they didn't like something that you did. Their reaction, this is how they're processing it in their mind, their reaction is that whatever they did to you wasn't warranted. It was unnecessary. And the way you handled it actually was a lot more chore, or made them feel like that you're above them. So I guess for that to be a message to gas you up, I guess it's for you to realize that you handle a lot of things with grace, no matter how much anger you have, or even if you feel like you could have handled it better. I mean, there's always room for improvement, right? None of us are perfect, but you're somebody who actually knows how to handle things better than other people. Okay, and maybe that's something you needed to know. All right. Um, and to gas you up some more, you really aren't wilding out the way that you could be with the things that you've experienced. You're somebody where, with the hate, the evil eye, the undermining that people have given you, you actually have a reason to be a menace, right? And when I say a reason to be a menace, right, what I mean is, it's not that it's necessarily right. I can't tell you what's right or wrong, but it's not that it's necessarily correct, but it would be understandable, if that makes sense. It's like, if anybody would have the wherewithal or the right, I put right in quotations, but if anybody would have the right to flip tables, it would be you, but you don't. So that's something that you needed to know. All right. Whoa. Okay, I shouldn't be so shocked. But stand up for yourself. This is your oracle card. Stand up for yourself. Okay, awesome. So to gas you up, right? Let's say that you feel like if you were to, now I'm not condoning like, you know, bad behavior, but if you were to raise your voice, if you were to add a little aggression, if you were to be snappy at people, it wouldn't make you wrong, right? So let's say you find yourself in a position where you get so frustrated, you end up snapping on somebody or just gathering somebody really quickly, right? People are looking at that as like, oh, okay, I might have deserved that one. Okay. And maybe you're somebody that people don't really expect any kind of like resistance from, right? And anybody who's tried you and realized that you're not someone to play with kind of feels like, well, I should have thought about that before I said something or did something to this person, right? I'm hearing there's something here about your jabs or your wit. You're somebody who has one-liners. Okay, so let me guess you. Okay, this is what people think about you, right? Maybe this should have been a what people think about you reading, but the way people see you is like you're somebody who is sharp with the tongue and you're quick-witted. And whenever somebody tries to go toe to toe with you, they don't realize how much of a um, competitor, I guess, you are. Like some people feel like they can take you psychologically, or even verbally, and then they find out really quickly that no, you're not the one. All right. So yeah, you have a sharp mind. Um, you're quick witted, and you don't necessarily need to be mean to get your point across and to really sting people. That's what I'm getting from you. It's almost like it's either like a nice nasty or it's like you say something, but the way you say it or what you say, if somebody explodes on you, they're gonna end up looking like the crazy one, you know? So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Let me see. There's another relationships. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Oh, so let me guess you up real quick. There's something about your energy where people feel like I'm hearing roll out the red carpet, right? I literally saw a red carpet being rolled out. But there's something about your energy that makes people feel like, oh, okay, let me make sure that pile one is okay. I hope I didn't say pile three before. Okay. Let me make sure that pile one's good. Oh, let me get the seat and let me move the seat over here in case pile number one wants to sit down or there's some kind of like preparedness or kind of wanting to take care of you that people feel from you. Um, I'm getting kind of like a royalty energy. And even if you don't feel that way, let's say you work at like, I don't know, Starbucks as a barista, right? And obviously there's nothing wrong with working at Starbucks as a barista, right? But when you think about like an employee who works at like, okay, so for myself, my why am I getting tongue tied? Mercury retrograde. Um, let's say I'll use myself as an example. So right now, and I say right now because child, nothing's permanent. Um, but right now I work for the New York City Department of Education. and I'm a sub paraprofessional, right? So, I'm basically a teacher's assistant. And when you look at the totem pole of people, if you rank them from like, principal, assistant principal, unit coordinator, da 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 da, teacher, and then you get the paraprofessional, right? So we're technically at the bottom of the totem pole, right? So let's say you're in a position like that where your position isn't really regarded, as important as it is. It's not really regarded. So um, people would expect to not even give you a thought or a glance, but you're somebody who carries the type of energy where no matter what position you're in, no matter where you are, there are people around you who want to get to know you better, who want to, um, like I said before, roll out the red carpet, make sure you're okay. You know, they want to make sure that you're not having a bad experience. Um, so that's interesting. Yeah. And people want to present their best faces to you. So you're the type of person who like, oh, let me gas you up for real. You're the type of person where when you walk in a room, people feel like they need to tighten up, not because you're the boss, right? But it's just because it's like the kind of energy you exude. It's like, all right, like we got to make sure we, act professional. We keep ourselves, we keep it cute. We, da 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 da, because pile one's here. And obviously it's not like this kind of like, I want to make it clear that it's not like this like it's more of a doting. It's not like a worshiping energy. It's more like a doting, or like um an admiration. So there are people that admire you. Pile number one. And that's something that's important for you to know, because the sense I'm getting from this pile is that like you might not understand how much people actually admire you. You could just be existing and floating in the world, like, and people look at you and they're like, wow, you know? Interesting. Okay, let's get into your tarot cards. We have the Queen of Pentacles. I'll move this out of the way. Queen of Pentacles, Page of Wands reverse, Nine of Pentacles, Empress, ooh, and the Queen of Cups. Dude, jeez Louise. I'm hearing pump the brakes. So there's something about you, okay, romantically speaking, people feel like they have to take a different approach. So you evoke this kind of energy from people where it's like, okay, hold on. Like, I can't just like spit game or approach this person willy-nilly, like, you know, like they're just anybody on the street. It's kind of this thing where it's like you're respected. Like, people respect you, and there's this kind of thing about you where it's like it's almost like matriarchal. So even if you're a man, it's kind of this thing. It's like, the kind of reverence and respect that you give a mother. It's like comforting, right? You bring this energy where like people feel comfortable around you. Like your energy is very like nurturing, but at the same time, it's not something to be taken advantage of either. It's like people appreciate and understand that your nurturing energy is something that's not um, just given willy-nilly without any type of respect. The respect is a very big thing here that I'm getting for you guys. So just to gas you up, if you feel like nobody cares, I don't know what that was. If you feel like nobody cares, or people don't regard you, and it's just like, ugh, whatever, this pile number one, no. People respect you a lot. They admire you a lot. they see this very caring side of you too. And that's why people want to get close to you as well, because they recognize this kind of sweetness to you. You have a sweetness to you, but it's like, it's not a kind of sweetness that like everybody receives. Hmm. And people look at you like you can have whatever you want. Like if you really wanted to, you can have whatever you want, whoever you want. And it's also like people feel like you'd run circles around them too. There's something about your value that people put you above themselves. Um, Almost like they don't want to play around with you, because if they lose a chance to get close to you, they have this knowing, whether it's true or not, to them they have this knowing that they won't be able to try again. So it's almost like come correct. Also, you're somebody who you can do for yourself. There's something about you that people, I'm getting this energy of you standing alone and not needing validation from other people. Like you validate yourself, you validate your own experiences, which actually makes you very attractive when it comes to romance, when it comes to friendships, when it comes to people wanting to, people being drawn to you. All right. All right. So that's your reading, pal number one. Hope that resonated for you guys. And please put in the comments how you relate to this if it resonated for you. All right. Thank you so much for choosing me as your reader. And I will see you guys next time. Take care. Pile number two. All right. Welcome. So your card is. Every time I smile, my thing comes out. Sorry about that. If you keep seeing me do that. Your card is be honest. Ooh. People feel like you can see right through them. People feel like you can see right through them. You can see their MO. Like there's something about your gaze that makes people feel like you're peering into their soul, even if you don't know them. Ooh. that gave me chills. Even if you don't know them. And there's also something about you that makes people feel safe enough to actually be themselves, and also to pour pour themselves out in the way that they wouldn't with typically with people. You know what I'm getting? I'm getting almost like a therapist. Like, okay, so let's say somebody doesn't know you. You might be somebody who experiences a lot of casual conversations with strangers that end up turning like really deep, like out of nowhere. Like people start telling you their life stories or whatever it is that they're struggling with at that moment, or, um, or they could just intuitively, this is interesting. People could intuitively look at you for some sort of guidance or advice, or like a pick me up, or like um, some sort of like reassurance. So you're somebody that people view as a vessel. And honestly, I don't think people would put it in those words, but people view you as a vessel. Huh, that's so interesting. I would not have gotten that from this card, but um, people are touched. People are honestly touched by your empathy, because people feel like you can see who they are. Like people feel like you see beyond their title at work. You see beyond the car that they have. You see beyond, their material items or the apartment that they have. Like you see beyond all of that, and you see them for who they are. All right. So people really feel seen by you. And maybe that's why it was giving me a therapist vibe. It's one of those things where you give people a safe space, and you might not even be trying to do this, but there's something on a soul level that people can recognize that you're, oh, an angel. Wow. That I literally just heard angel. People view you as an angel. That is so interesting. I've never gotten a message like that before. Um, Random, people also want to smoke with you. So if there are people that you either just met, or maybe you have coworkers and colleagues, or you know, maybe people that you encounter in passing, they actually want to smoke with you. Like they wanna know what it's like to be, you know, high with you. They want to share a high with you. That's interesting. So people think you're cool. Like you're cool. Like you're somebody who's like cool to be around. Like you're chill to be around. Like people view you as somebody who's very like pure, but also very relaxed and relaxing. So you're somebody who actually puts people on a path of self-reflection, because after people speak to you, after people have a conversation with you, they're like, I'm hearing, be honest with myself. Like, let me be honest with myself, right? There's something you expose to people about themselves, and it's not in a way that's like jarring. I mean, it might be a little bit of a knee jerk, like a, oh, but you know what I'm getting? You're not somebody that brings new information to people, but you actually bring understanding and confirmation to people about things that they've already thought about. Maybe just on a surface level, or maybe they've been doubting, or, maybe they've been confused about. There's something about your conversation with people that's very clarifying, but in a very like, um, understanding way. I don't know how to explain that. So that's interesting. Let's see what your oracle card is here. Pause, assess, act. So people consider you to be a very thoughtful person. People think you're a very thoughtful person. And there's a lot of wisdom that people actually get from you. um, there's something about your energy that's kind of slow, and not slow in a bad way, but it's like slow in a very paced way, you know. Um, and there's something about you that makes people feel present, you know. Like, even if people are like, oh my gosh, at work, like, listen, can't wait for the day to be over. Oh my gosh, this day is dragging on, da 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 da, this, that, and the other. But then interacting with you, conversing with you, there's a lot about conversation coming up here. So, one thing you need to know to gas you up is whenever anybody has a conversation with you, it's a good conversation. Whether it's about the weather or it's about, I don't know, past traumas. It's a good conversation. So that's something that people actually look to you for. Now, when people are in situations that are, let's say, high stress, or people are in situations that are tedious, boring, whatever, you're able to bring them down into the present. I said present, and um, make them laugh, all right? Make them think, all right? Make them engaged. There's something very captivating about, you know, the way you interact with people. You're a very captivating person. When people speak to you, when people have conversations with you, it's almost like they feel immersed. It's almost like It's almost like having a drug-induced experience. All right? So that's something you got to know about yourself, pile number two. Just know that, whenever somebody talks to you or looks forward to talking to you, it's like, oh, it's going to be lit. Pile number two's here is going to be lit, you know? Mm. This because there's a realness to you. There's something about you where, like, okay, here's what it is. You're not a pretender. You don't pretend for people. So if something is like off to you, something is funny to you, if something is strange to you, something feels uncomfortable, you're not one to mask that. And that's something that people actually appreciate about you. Because you know how, like, in a lot of social settings, certain things happen and we're all just kind of like, we all feel like we have to be stoic. And when you look at people's faces and then you see that one person's face and it's like, oh, okay, they saw what I saw. Okay. Oh no, okay, they feel what I feel. Okay. Like there's something about you where people can relate to you because you're not somebody who masks everything. Hmm. Interesting. Also, there's kind of like a tiptoeing energy, so it's like people you make people nervous. So people might feel like they need to find a way, like to find a way to get in there with pile number two. It's like, how do I start a conversation with pile number two? People just know they want to talk to you, but they don't know how. Like, how am I going to open up this conversation? Like, okay, maybe I can ask pile number two for this and, we can get something going. Like, people really think about this, like how they're able to get into a conversation with you. Oh, that's so funny. It's actually reminding me about an experience I had today at work. Um, so I recently just started working at this new school. I started working there like last week, but this is my second time being in this one particular class. So this one para that I'm working with, um, he asked me if I have any tattoos. He was like talking about tattoos. We were like right next to each other. Um, but I wasn't really paying it much mind because I'm not into tattoos like that. He was like, "Do you have a tattoo?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Why not?" And I told him I'm afraid of needles. So we started talking. Then we got into a debate about why, I should get a tattoo and symbolism and all this other stuff. So then, like 15 minutes into the conversation, I turned the question back around. I said, "Do you have any tattoos?" He goes, "No." I was like, so we just went through that whole back and forth for nothing. He was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm like that." Um, so it's stuff like that where people will just try to find an in just to have a conversation with you. You know what I mean? It's funny. I actually didn't think about that experience that way today. Um, so that's interesting that it's coming up in the reading. Loneliness. I know that I am never alone. So, pile number two. I almost said three. Pile number two. You're somebody that people want to get to know. People want to be your friend. People want to connect with you. People want to know what makes you tick, what you like, what your favorite cuisine is, what's the right snack for you, and like what's your dream vacation. Like people want to know certain things about you. People are just very curious about you. Um, and that actually feeds into why people also want to converse with you so much, is because they literally just want to put the puzzles together about who you are. So there might be a little mystery to you because people want to know who you are. Like, you know, they see you, but they don't know you. So it's like, oh man, I wonder what pile number two's favorite chocolate is. Or like, I wonder, what car, dream car, pile number two has in mind. Like things like that, you know, that seem very random, but are like, you know, things to get to know a person. I don't know why my camera got blurry all of a sudden. That must be true. Okay. Let me just get it to focus. All right. All right, let's get into your tarot cards now. We have the Knight of Swords reverse. We have the Empress reverse. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Moon and the Two of Pentacles. Huh. Let me sit with this. There's something about maternal energy here that you flip on its head for people. And when I say maternal, I don't mean that you necessarily have to be, even though a matriarch is, or like maternal is, literally means mother, right? Or like woman. But I'm talking about the energy where there's something about maternal energy that you flip on its head. It's like if people understood nurturing to be one way, when they experience you, it's a little different. So let's say people have this idea of nurturing being like coddling, right? You're somebody who is able to show people that it's not exactly tough love, because I'm not getting tough love, but there's like a rigidness and a sternness to your maternal energy that's also extremely caring and extremely loving. So it's like the way that people feel like a parent should show up, you show them a different way of showing up that maybe like on paper they would have disagreed with, but when they see it in real time, it's like they actually appreciate it, you know? That's very specific. I think I'm speaking to like that specific messages for mothers out there. So um people think that you're a very good mom if you are a mother. Um, Parent in general, for sure, but specifically a mother, because I do see very maternal energy here. Now, I did get the Moon card, right? And I was saying that there's something mysterious about you. So to gas you up, people are wondering like, how do you maintain your finances? Because there's something about you where people feel like, let's say you work a job where the pay isn't that great, but when you come in, you look like you have money. So people kind of wonder, like, do you have a partner? Do you have supportive parents? Like, people wonder. There's something about your money that doesn't add up because you look like you're doing very well for yourself, but your circumstances are the opposite. Like, whatever position that you're in, you shouldn't really be doing that well financially, like independently. So people are assuming that you're getting help elsewhere. So you have a lot of pocket watchers, honestly. But what that tells me to gas you up is that you look good. You look like you have things taken care of. You look like, you're doing well for yourself. No matter how you feel, that's how people perceive you. Like you come from a very good home. Whether it's a home you created or whether it's literally like, a good home like your parents or your family. Yeah. With this Two of Pentacles, what I'm getting is like, even if you have 50 cents in your bank account, honey, you don't look like it. Not at all. You also don't look like what you've been through. So, the reason people want to dig deep is because they want to understand the kind of person you are to put you in a box, because the way you appear is so, it's like regal. Yeah. Hold on. I feel like I gotta focus on this Knight of Swords. Ooh, okay. So people feel like they don't measure up. They don't measure up to your standards. And this is not even something that you could be expressing. But the way you carry yourself, people feel like you're out of their league. People genuinely feel like you're out of their league. Like, they would never have a chance with you. Like, there's no way that they can make you happy because they don't have enough, or maybe they're not beautiful or handsome enough. Aw, that's kind of sad. But this is the energy you evoke out of people. So let me guess you up then. Like, you're somebody that people consider high value. Ugh, that sounds so red pill. But you know what I mean, like, for real, like high value, not because of the things that you have or don't have, or, and it's not necessarily because of how you look, because I'm not really getting much about looks here, because you very well, could be a very like attractive person, beautiful person, handsome person, but that's not what it is. That's what draws people in. But what makes people curious about you and want to be close to you is your energy. Like, you command this kind of attention and um, allure. Yeah, you're very alluring. You're a very alluring person, but you're also a very grounded person. So it's almost like, wow, this man or woman is such a catch. So people also wonder about your dating, like, are they taken? Do they have a man? Do they have a woman? Are they talking to somebody? Are they lightly seeing somebody right now? Is there somebody that they have in their bed, or somebody has them in there? But like, people are very curious about, like, what is your romantic situation right now? Because it's almost like they wanna know if that's something that, like, they could get into with you, but they don't know. Because people assume that you have somebody, but they don't know. So they really want to know. Like, they're super curious. Mm, yeah. And people don't want you to know that they want to impress you. People feel a little awkward because they feel this need to impress you, but they don't want to be like out there about it. They don't want to make a fool of themselves or like tap dance in front of you, but they want your, like, they want to know that you're looking at them, that you're paying attention to them, or that you notice them, that, like, all right, like, okay, let me do this for pile number two. Um that way we interact and they know I exist, you know? Very interesting energy, pile number two. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the reading, and please comment below how you relate to this, if this resonated for you, okay? Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things to get me into the algorithm. And I appreciate you for choosing me as your reader. All right, see you next time. Take care. Pile number 3. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Okay. Your anchoring card is Embrace Spirit. Embrace Spirit. Okay. There you go. Embrace Spirit. Ooh. I just heard tantalizing. I don't know. So let me gas you up, right? Something about you, like, that's ethereal. Like, you float in a room. It's like when you walk into a room, the room gets brighter. Mm. So what's actually like great about you is that you show people that it's okay to be different. Like, you don't have to blend in. There's something about you that's very like weird, but not in a weird way, right? So when I say weird, I just mean like out of the ordinary, or like not what people are used to in whatever environment that you're in, whether it is your family dynamic, or it is at work, or like even just in your hometown, wherever you're from. There's something about your style, your voice, even the way you speak, um, the way you do your makeup, your hair. There's something about you, and these are things you could not be trying, even like you're just being yourself, and people can recognize that and they respect that, because when people think about being different, they think about being an outlier, or just being on the outskirts of a group and not being included. But you're somebody who shows people that it's okay to be yourself, because even still, with you being who you are, being different from other people, people still want you to be a part of their collective or whatever group they're in, right? So you show people that it's okay to be me. It's okay to have a different perspective or opposing views from other people, and still, share a common thread, a common purpose, a common goal. Um, there's also something very enlightening about you too, because I just heard enlightened. It's almost like the stream of thought I was going into, almost like there was like it was just like a dip, like almost like a cliff, like a poof. It got cut off, and I heard enlightenment. Um, so there's something very enlightening about you. Technically speaking, what I was saying before is something that is enlightening, but there's also something about your presence that is enlightening to people about the spaces that they're in. You're somebody who can come into a conversation or a space and completely shift the focus. There's something about your energy that shifts the focus of things. So let's say you work in a place where, I don't know, let's say you work in a fast food joint, right? Um, and there's an issue that people have with something. I don't know, an ice cream machine. Let me think about McDonald's, low-key. Let's say there's an issue with an ice cream machine that everybody has, and everybody just focuses on this ice cream machine. It's like, ah, like, why can we ever get this ice cream machine fixed? And da 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 da, this, that, and the other. And it's just like, ah. And then you come into a space, and maybe you ask the right questions to the right people that kind of gets the gears going in a certain direction, where now whoever, let's say, is like the regional manager or regional director gets contacted, and mind you, this is not you that's contacting the regional manager, but somehow there's a ripple effect that happens from you asking the right questions to the right person that ends up getting to the regional manager, and then all of a sudden this regional manager understands just how important this ice cream machine is, something they never thought about, never cared about. All of a sudden they're realizing that, oh wait, hold on. With this ice cream machine being broken, it could be like devaluing the brand or something. You know what I mean? Like, that was a very long-winded example, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. It's almost like you're somebody who is a catalyst for other people to see things that are important that maybe people didn't regard before. So wherever you walk into or whatever you become a part of, you kind of highlight um you kind of highlight things that people weren't really paying attention to, right? Or maybe a disconnect between certain groups, because in the example that I gave, right, everybody at that specific restaurant was frustrated with the ice cream machine and realized how much of a, you know, pesky thing it was. But the regional manager, because the regional manager feels like they have bigger fish to fry, it's not a concern of theirs. It's not on their docket. They're not going to take care of it because who cares, right? But with this ripple effect of you, you know, asking certain questions or having certain interactions with people that end up, you know, having a snowball effect, getting to the regional manager to open the regional manager's eyes to why this ice cream machine is important. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you kind of bridged that gap of misunderstanding between two different perspectives. I hope that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense. Um, yeah. Well, that's what I'm getting from this one card. So I know it's gonna resonate for somebody because that was a lot, child. Um, Listen for spirit is your next oracle card. Oh, I just realized. Yo, I just realized. Embrace spirit and listen for spirit. Okay, so you are. Okay, now I'm starting to see that all of these piles are actually connected. So if you wanted to pick more than one pile, this is your confirmation that whatever other pile you were drawn to, definitely go to that. Because in the other two piles, um, I also kept thinking pile number three, pile number three, pile number three. So I guess this is like kind of like the connector of both of those piles. Anyway, whatever, child. Do what you're intuitively called to do. Listen for spirit and embrace spirit. So, if you didn't know already, spirit uses you as an agent of chaos and change. Chaos, not in a bad way, right? But it's almost like when there are environments where things aren't aligned with the way that they're supposed to be, Spirit puts you in those places to shake them up, right? Now I'm thinking about oh my gosh, my eyes almost got stuck in my head the way I rolled them so hard. But now it's reminding me of the um, life insurance company that I used to work for. Oh, cha. Anyway, when I was in sales, it literally flipped my entire life upside down. Um, and it took a very long time for me to realize that I wasn't aligned with it, with that work in the way that I thought I was. Now, what I do realize now in hindsight is that my experience in that company actually exposed a lot of um, things beneath the surface that maybe people overlooked. Um, it exposed a few people's characters, insecurities, flaws, and including my own, actually. When I say an agent of chaos, it's in a way where for things to experience a shift or a necessary change, especially when something has been established for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, where it's the same thing. We never go outside of this pattern. You never break this rule. You always have to do things this way. And, this doesn't matter. And that does matter. And when there's a certain kind of, let me say, culture, because I used to love to use that damn word. When there's a certain kind of culture that's like cemented in a place that's not working for it anymore, might I add, but because it's what's been working for 40 out of the 50 years, there needs to be almost like a wrecking ball kind of energy to come through to kind of, change things, expose cracks and flaws and all these, and that's who you are. That's who you are, an agent of chaos and change. And it's not in a way, because, and this is the thing, this is why you needed to be gassed up this way, because you might be somebody who's like, damn, what's wrong with me? Wherever I go, whatever workplace I go to, I'm always, no matter how hard I try, I'm always met with, you know, um, malice, aggression, people doing and saying things behind my back, people trying to diminish my contributions, people, trying to minimize my qualifications, and people doing this and people doing that. And it's just like, no matter how hard I try to be a cooperative person, no matter how hard I try to embed myself into this place and actually do what is required of me, it always ends up like being this whole like weird experience where, people either hate me or love me. And, no matter what I do right, I'm just always met with resistance. It's because that is what you're supposed to do. That is what your energy is called in there to do. So to get you, oh, I'm feeling lightheaded. I'm feeling lightheaded. Um, so you are, you are, wow, you are a child of God. We are all children of God, right? But you are a child of God in a way that people do not recognize until you're way gone. Um, because you're the person who actually does the uncomfortable job. And it's not a job that you intend to do, but it's literally spirit moving through you to change certain things. You change people's lives. Ooh, ooh. That literally like brought tears to my eyes. So that's something you need to know, pile number 3, because this is actually making me very emotional. That's how true it is. You change people's lives. And that's what you need to know. You change people's lives in a way where, ooh, let me gather myself. Because that energy just, it literally just like went through me. Like, I feel like I had a burst of like potency just like pushed through me. Um, and that's why it's so important for you to come to this reading. Pile number 3. I really had to hold my tears back because you're somebody who doesn't recognize how much you impact people's soul's growth. You are, I don't even have the words anymore. Where are the words? You are a, okay, this is the first time I've experienced this where like the energy feels like too big. It feels like really big. Because Catalyst doesn't do this justice. So, let me gas you up, right? If you feel like you can never get anything right, if you feel like no matter what you do, however much you try to do right by people, it's never seen or it's never heard. If you feel like you try your best and your utmost to show up as your best self, and no matter how hard you try, people will still try to paint you as a villain or an evil person, or try to make you small, or um, try to literally squash you. I mean, that's the energy I'm getting of people wanting and trying to squash you. It's literally because you're so big. Like, they feel this energy. They feel spirit through you, and they may not word it that way, but they feel this magnitude of power. Power that you possess, but it sounds like you don't abuse, or you're not even aware that you have. You move people to tears because of how much you change their lives, and it's not like these influencers, like I feel, I wish I could explain to you guys how I feel right now. I feel like out of my body. It's not like these influencers that, you know, um, give a homeless person $1,000 and like film it, and it's like, oh, look at this good deed I did today for this one person. It's like the way you do it is so inherently spiritual. It's not for show. It's like the impact you have on people's lives is the kind of impact where somebody goes home and they just think about you and what you said or something you did, or maybe even through them just like observing you, just watching you, and it literally like shifts their spirit. Like it literally shifts them internally. And I'm getting that this isn't something that happens in real time, which is why you're met with so much negativity and resistance and disdain from people. Ugh. I feel like I gotta light my Palo Santo. I'm not even gonna hold you, man. This is like intense. Um, it's not something that people can put into words, but you literally change people's lives, and it's not just you in the flesh. Like, spirit literally comes through you. Now I'm thinking about a specific friend that I have that I was behind. Like, I had his back when nobody believed in him, man. Nobody believed in this guy. At the insurance company that I worked in. And when they did, it was like, I don't know. They were banking on this guy being small. And I remember I would just, behind the scenes, of course, just gas him up every single chance that I got. And he became one of the top sellers for, I want to say, like 6 months straight. And that's not me taking credit. I'm not taking credit for that. What I'm saying is, I spoke so much life into that man because I recognized something in him that I felt like everybody else saw, but didn't really want him to really bring out of himself. They were banking on him remaining small. You know what I mean? Everything he did on his own. That was all his work, you know. Nobody can do the work for you, right? So I say that to say, when you come into people's lives and maybe you expose their shadow, or maybe you expose a kind of pattern or way of thinking that's holding them back in life or something like that, you could be viewed as somebody who is like a menace just by your mere existence. And it's up to people to do the work, because they'll recognize it for what it is eventually. But then it's up for people to do the work. If they want to feel, if they want to elevate on a spiritual level, or even in their career, or even with their family life, like, I feel like I gotta get off of this now because the deeper I go, the more intense it's gonna get. But pile number 3, you need to know that about yourself, that you change people's lives. I'm not saying you have the capacity. I'm saying you do. You do. And this isn't something that people will tell you, by the way. People will not tell you what an impact you have over their lives, but just trust and know that it's not just you. It's their spirit guides that want them to wake up to certain things, that want them to change certain things, that want them to, you know, sorry, I just gotta cleanse this space. Please purify the energy and protect this reading and protect my auric field. Thank you. Oof. You're doing big things, pile number 3. Let's just leave that one there, okay? Let's just leave that one. Oh my God, I almost cried on camera. That was crazy. We have here grateful, gratitude. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. I'm grateful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. So now I'm shifting to, wow, this is the more spiritual pile than the other 2. now I'm shifting to your actual spirit guides. Let me gas you up. Your spirit guides actually admire you. Wow. Okay. Your spirit guides are actually very proud of you, and they actually admire your process and your growth through the life that you've lived, because people might not know all the experiences that you've had, right? People might look at you and just think that you're some, I don't know, handsome, pretty person that's never had to work for anything that they had a day in their life, not knowing the struggle that you actually had to go through, right? And your spirit guides want to make you aware that they actually appreciate you for allowing them to work through you, for not resisting their use for you as a vessel, for not resisting the woo woo, I guess. Um, for never wavering in terms of your purpose. Let's say you don't even know what your purpose is. It's for them to work through you. And the fact that you're still able to stay in this space of gratitude after all of this negativity and this hardship, and I really want to cry. So I know you guys have been through a lot, and your spirit guides are clapping for you, and they want you to know that it's not in vain, because you've touched so many people. People that will never tell you how much of an impact you've made on them. Let's move to the tarot cards. All right. And we're back. Sorry. I had to just gather myself a little bit there. Let a few tears down. Because I don't think you realize yourself, pile number 3, how vital and important you are to the experience of people around you. You may never get the credit from people about how much you've changed their lives and course corrected them. I'm hearing that course correction. Like, there are people that were on a path to self-destruction, and maybe this is something that you weren't even aware of, or maybe you were. And just from how you showed up in their lives, and it may not have been in the purest ways, right? But you were able to shift and change their trajectory. And it's actually their, oh wow, it's their spirit guides. Whoa, hold on. I'm hearing it's their spirit guides that petitioned you? Why does that feel like it should be the other way around? Because you didn't petition their spirit guides. But that's what I'm hearing, that their spirit guides petitioned you to come into their lives, to experience you, so that the shifts that they needed to take could be exposed. And free will is a thing, so it's like, that's what you're meant to do. You're just meant to expose, just to show people. Whether they decide to accept or reject is up to them. So, pile number 3, what you don't realize is anointed you are. You might not feel that way, but you are. I've literally never had an experience where I've had to pause a reading to cry, because that's just how intense the the energy is here. Okay? So that's something you need to know about yourself. That's something you need to know about yourself. All right? Let's look at the tarot cards. All right? We have the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles reverse, the Three of Pentacles, the King of Wands, the Five of Cups. Oh boy. Wow. You show people where they've closed up emotionally. Okay. So you're somebody who's definitely dealt with a lot of emotionally unavailable people. Um, People who put money over everything. People who put material things over everything. People who put things like sex over everything. People who put their heart and their emotions to the side to fulfill their fleshly desires. I hope that makes sense. Like people who are ruled by the flesh. And I think you expose to them how closed their heart space is and how detrimental that is for their soul's growth and purpose. And you're somebody that exposes this to people in a way where when they lose you, they feel that. So before you come into people's lives, it's like they have a certain way of living, right? Maybe there's somebody in corporate who has this big career that they're going after, so they work all nights, late nights, no time for friends or family. Not realizing that this is a choice, right? But to them, it's something that they're confined to because this is what they have to do to get to this career. And then boom, you come into their workspace or you come into their lives in whatever form, romantic partner, friend, coworker, whatever it is. They have whatever experience they have with you, good, bad, ugly, and then you leave. And then it's almost like this gaping hole that forces them to sit with themselves about, hold on, what do I actually desire? Where did this desire come from? What will fulfill me? Am I going to regret not nurturing the connections that I have to chase this money, to chase this lifestyle, things like that. Like once you leave people with questions about who they are. They start questioning, like, who am I? What do I really want? Or who do I really want? But I see here that that's something that's not very easy for you or these people. The way it happens is it feels like a waste of time. Like in real time when people go through this stuff with you, they might feel like you're either a waste of time or they're not getting anywhere with you or you're not that important or like they could do without you or you get what I'm saying. And then you leave, and then they realize, whoa, I didn't realize how much this person was pouring into me. Or I didn't realize how grounding or calm this person, or calming this person's energy was to me. I didn't realize how disconnected I felt from other people until Pile 3 came into my life. I didn't realize, the things that I was focusing on in a partner that I wanted but maybe didn't need. Things like that. Like, these are the types of questions and the types of, like, experiences that you leave people with, where it literally changes their, I'd said that before, it literally changes their life because it shifts their perspective on life as they knew it. So let me guess you up. If you feel like people didn't care when you left, if you feel like people kicked you to the curb, or if you feel like when you left, people, weren't checking for you, or it's just like, ugh, whatever, pile number 3 is gone. No. No. People miss you a lot. People feel the weight of your absence a lot. People want to be in your life a lot. People wish that they had a second chance with you. Maybe they had a second chance and they blew that. People wish they had a third chance with you. People want to fix things with you. People actually feel guilty about the way that they treated you. People recognize now that you didn't deserve the treatment that you got from them. People are starting to recognize now that you are one of the most important people that they've ever come across in their lives. They'll never be able to forget you. Ever. And it could be a coworker where you feel like, oh, whatever. I used to say hi to Sally and we used to chit chat and like that was it. Like it didn't mean anything. No. It meant a lot to that person. You don't realize your impact. And I guess your humility is actually what makes things sting so much. Is that you're somebody who's earnest, and you're somebody who is actually being real with people, showing up for people because you meant it. You were giving people a piece of you that they didn't think was much. And now they realize it was everything. Okay. Now, there's somebody that you either work with now or used to work with. This is a side message. This is somebody who's very attractive, somebody who has a very bold energy, somebody that people would consider sexy, a leader, um, um, just big boss energy, um, confident, um, just highly desirable. Somebody you worked with who was all of those things that I mentioned, um, is feeling your loss a lot. Um, they They feel like they ruined a chance to have a personal relationship with you outside of work. That's a very specific message. But if that resonated with you, comment that down below, because I am getting that very strongly. But anyway, people wish that they were a lot more cooperative with you. People wish that you would take them back. I keep getting that. Like, people want an in on your life again. People realize now that you brought out their shadow. Before, people were trying to blame you for the way you responded to things or things that you did, but what they're realizing now is that you just exposed a part of themselves that they hadn't addressed or weren't aware of. So you cause an introspection with people, because it's almost like things got flipped for people once you left, like remove yourself from situations. People were only left to look at themselves, so it's almost like you flipped things on people. And that's something that's very jarring for them. It's hard for people to reconcile with how they were towards you. Okay. All right, pile number 3. Wow. I hope that resonated for you guys, and if it did, please comment down below. Let me know. I really, really want a chance to connect with you guys a lot more. You know, because I want to know who is, taking these messages in, and what it's doing for you guys. That's something that's really important to me. So I appreciate you for choosing me as your reader. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.